Okay, so your hand.
Okay, just by a show of hands, how many of you know what a Barbie doll is?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The whole class knows. Very good. Okay, how many of you ever actually thought of the effect that she has as a role model for kids? Good. Okay, so a few of you. Very nice. Basically, to me, when I think of a Barbie doll, I think of a negative influence on body image for girls. More than that, though, I just see her as the first representation of a negative image. However, as time has evolved, really it's become the social media that's had such a strong effect on the way that girls and women do view their body. My main three sources of media would be television, the internet, and then magazines, which are still, being shown everywhere. So, just to start it off, really keeping with the Barbie theme here. This is just a picture of what Barbie, her dimensions are, and the average woman. If you look closely, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but Barbie is 6 feet tall. She has a wider chest, and her hips and her waist are smaller than the average woman. If she was a human being, she would not be able to stand. She wouldn't be able to support herself. Basically, what that says to me is that this is not something that little girls should be playing with. They're idolizing this particular doll, thinking, I want to be this when I grow up. Meanwhile, it's unrealistic. They can't do it. Just another tidbit. Mattel came out with a doll in 1965 that had a scale that was permanently set at 110 pounds, and they had a book on advice for how to lose weight, and the advice was don't eat. I would not recommend that to a child, a woman, a man, a human being. That's not healthy. That's not something that anybody should be doing, and it's not a positive idea on your body image. Obviously, little kids have these heroes, and they idolize things like their Barbie doll, especially cartoons, which leads me to the television and these cartoon characters that many girls are idolizing today. So, here you can see some cartoon characters and their original pictures and how they used to look, whereas now, since 2000, they've been giving them makeovers. The idea here that really bothers me is the fact that originally they're all innocent, they're very cute. I don't know if you know who they are. This is Dora the Explorer, Strawberry Shortcake, and that's Rainbow Bright. They're a little bit older, but obviously Dora's the most well-known in the class, I'd say. Basically, what is so upsetting about it is the originals are innocent, they're cute. The made-over ones are thinner. They have smaller outfits, and they're all wearing makeup. These little girls are going to think of their bodies and say, well, Dora is skinnier now, that's what I need to be. She's wearing makeup, that's what I need to do. It's not something that we should be showing children, and it's definitely going to be remembered when they get to their teenage years, which is obviously a harder time as it is, but to start it so young and make them think that their bodies aren't good enough as children is not something that we should be pushing. So, parents obviously have a pretty good control over what their children watch. However, when they get to the internet, it's a lot harder to control what they're seeing. So, the effects from the internet on body image for teens. What I see here is that teens are going and looking for a group that they can connect to. So, Facebook, being a social network, kids are going and looking for a way to connect and belong. What they're finding, though, is some groups that are really inappropriate. For example, Pro-Mia and Pro-Ana sites. Does anybody know what those are? Okay, let me explain. A Pro-Mia site is a pro-bulimia site, or a pro-anorexia site. What it does is basically these girls can go in, they can find blogs, pictures on there, and they basically motivate each other to not eat and to look that way. They are being shut down. I have an example here I'm not going to show you. At the end, if I have time, I will. But basically, it's making these girls think their bodies aren't ever good enough. And with so many sites out there now, they're not being shut down. Nobody has said anything, nobody's done anything yet. It just has a strong influence on these girls, and it's something that should be basically gotten rid of as soon as possible. It's not healthy, and it's mentally really straining on a lot of the girls. They get sucked into it. Again, parents can go in and try and control what their kids are seeing, but when it's so closely around you, if you're walking into a supermarket, if you're walking down the street and you see a newsstand, there's still going to be magazine ads, which is the other third thing that I think really affects girls today. I don't know how many of you are aware of Cosmopolitan magazine. Basically, the magazine caters to 18-year-olds to 25-year-old girls, and women, I should say. But on the cover, there's always a beautiful girl, no matter what. It also sells the idea that you can have the best hair, you can do the best makeup, ways to flatten your belly, ways to look better, and what it really is false advertisement. All these women here are retouched. There's not one woman on the cover of any of these magazines that hasn't had weight taken off, shininess added to her face and her hair. There's a lot here that's not real. This is something that kids are seeing on the street, these women are seeing and paying for. This is what they want to be like. It's really setting up their standards to say, I want to look like this, when in reality, none of these celebrities do look like this. There was one celebrity, does anybody know the Candies company? Okay, there's one celebrity, I'm sure you all know her. Basically what she did is put out her original prints and her retouched prints so people could see what it looks like. Does everybody know Britney Spears?
Yeah.
Okay, she's the celebrity I'm talking about. Here you can see, this is her before, this is her after. What they did is she's got bruises here that they removed. They made her thigh slimmer and her waist obviously smaller in the retouched one. It's just something that people wouldn't notice until they look at the retouched picture and say, that's something that I have. I have, hips, I've got a waist, I shouldn't be ashamed of it. And that's what Britney Spears really did. The Candies Foundation finally came out and said, you're right, we're not going to retouch any of our photos. There hasn't been proof that they've done it, but. This is just the back of the picture. It's a little bit, they removed her tattoo. They took out the cellulite. Obviously, she's a real person, and that's what they really should be striving to do, put out these images of real people so that girls can set goals and have good role models. What I'm trying to do is basically show you guys that in the media there are areas that are negative. I'm just trying to make you guys aware of it. I'm not trying to say cut off all contact because that's basically impossible. And there are positive things. There's a program called the Dove Real Beauty Campaign, and what that is basically, I don't know if you've seen the Dove commercials, but what they do is they put real women who have real self-esteem and they're self-confident with themselves. From there, they've also gone to high schools and middle schools and had programs going on for the girls to make them understand that they are beautiful with who they are. So if you guys do get anything out of this, I hope that you understand that it's okay to be self-conscious as long as you're happy with who you are and you're willing to accept the social media, but you're more willing to accept who you've become.